Hi everyone, my name's Elizabeth. I will be graduating from Cal Poly this June with a Bachelor of Architecture and a minor in Sustainable Environments. I am also from the Central Valley. I do a lot of volunteer work, and lately my efforts have been focused primarily on LGBTQ cultural activism. And if you've never heard that acronym, it really just means anybody who's not straight. When Berkeley first asked me to speak today, I was convinced that I was exactly the wrong person because I have absolutely no connection to the Episcopal Church. My personal spiritual beliefs lie completely outside the Christian idea of reality. I was, however, raised in a Christian household, and my mom's side of the family is very heavily involved in the Salvation Army in the Los Angeles area. I even have first cousins who are pastors with the Salvation Army in Santa Maria. Now, as I'm sure many of you know, the Salvation Army isn't exactly as open and accepting of differences as the Episcopal Church is. My hometown of Bakersfield makes San Luis Obispo look actually very liberal. So when I first got here to go to school, I had a lot of misconceptions about Christianity. I thought, Christians are by default homophobic, that there is no room in the Christian reality for the reality of homosexuals and other people of non-heterosexual orientations. These beliefs and others fostered a very strong anti-Christian bias within my own mind, as I'm sure you can imagine, right? This was 4 years ago. However, today, thanks mostly to Berkeley and the Canterbury Ministry, I no longer believe in these falsehoods. I stand before you as someone who is not straight and unafraid to say so in this particular setting. 4 years ago, that is not something I could have done because I truly believed that that was the most dangerous thing I could possibly do. Canterbury Ministry has shown me and many of my queer friends that it is possible to be queer and Christian at the same time. It has shown me that Christians are not inherently anti-gay. The misconceptions I had upon arriving at Cal Poly thrive in the LGBT community, creating a deep-rooted stigma against Christians, which Canterbury Ministry has somehow managed to both address and reduce in my experience. This is one of the most powerful things I have ever witnessed in my time at Cal Poly, and that is why I asked Berkeley to be included in a documentary which I created for Pride Month about coming out as being LGBT. You can imagine the kinds of stories shared by students whose parents and families were from other denominations of Christianity. In an effort to counteract the effect these voices would have on my audience, I included Berkeley's welcoming, loving words as the Canterbury Chaplain in an effort to spread this message of Canterbury Ministry a little bit further. Not because I'm Christian, because as I said, I'm not, but because I have seen this ministry's message reduce stigmas and bring people closer together, and that, after all, is the most important thing in the cultural activism work that I do. Thank you all for providing such a wonderful resource, both to seekers of God and their peers at Cal Poly.